Hallie and welcome to Kapowski Reads. And I'm delighted. I'm delighted. The weather, the temperature has dropped. It's a little bit chilly, and that can only mean one thing. One thing. It's sweater weather. And I'm so happy. I love autumn. I love it. So it's finally cool enough to wear my knits, my jumpers. So I'm going to fully be embracing that. And I have realized recently that I have a whole bunch of books on my Kindle that are vaguely pumpkin spice themed. So what could be better than enjoying some sweater weather with some pumpkin spice books? I think that sounds like a dream come true. If not a little bit ridiculous, but I'm going with it. I am starting with the Pumpkin Spice Cafe by Laurie Gilmore. And I suspect strongly this is a pseudonym because the book is giving me Gilmore Girl vibes, and it is about a young woman who moves to a small town from the big city to take over her auntie's cafe. She buys the cafe from her aunt. And while she's there, she sparks up a little something with a hunky farmer. And he is getting over a kind of tough and very public breakup. So he's a little reluctant, but also super keen to pursue something with Jeannie, our protagonist. I'm really excited about it. It looks adorable and seems like the perfect kind of read to have immediately before spooky season, because when it hits October, I'm going straight into spooky reading mode, and I want to have a few more cute, fun books before then. So that's my plan. That is my plan. But this is just going to be a pretty relaxed vlog, and I am excited. So grab yourself. Doesn't need to be a pumpkin spice latte, it can be the beverage of your choice, and join me for some cozy, fun reading. So I have been really productive since last we spoke. I have made soup. I made a mushroom and rice soup, and it is delicious. Nobody else in my house is going to eat it, so it's all for me. And with hindsight, I really should have made a pumpkin spice soup, and I didn't think about that until right now. So that's maybe something for later this week. Other than that, I have done pretty much nothing other than making soup. I have, however, finished the first half of the Pumpkin Spice Cafe, and it is adorable, and I'm having such a good time with this book. It is very much giving me Gilmore Girls feels, and I know from the author's, let's just assume, pseudonym that it's heavily Gilmore Girls inspired, and I am getting that. There are small town vibes, there's town meetings with a whole gaggle of really fun characters. The sort of, I was going to say mayor, I've instantly forgotten his title. The guy in charge of the town meetings is a little bit bizarre. He has these dreams and is like using his dreams to sort of predict things. I'm saying they're psychic dreams, which is fun. So silly, but really enjoyable. There are little festivals, and everyone keeps talking about the Christmas festival, which I don't think we're going to get in this book because it's very autumnal. There are a lot of characters who are just so lovable. I'm really enjoying Jeannie making new friends. She's made friends with this book group who seem so fun, and I would like to join them. They read entirely smut, and it's so funny. They've got the school sort of principal who used to teach Logan, our love interest, and that's just really enjoyable. And I'm really liking how Jeannie is making friends with Logan's friends, his friends that he's known since he was just a wee kid. It's really nice that she's just sort of being fully embraced into the town, and all the while Logan is just so worried that she's gonna leave. Like, her living in the town is temporary, and I just want to shake him and be like, Logan, she has bought a cafe. You don't just buy a cafe and a flat and then view that as temporary. If you've bought property, you're probably planning to be there for a while, so calm down, Logan. The romance so far is really sweet. It's not will they, won't they, it's when will they, because they keep getting, you know, close to smooching, or maybe there's a little smooch here and there, and then they get disturbed by something. Jeannie has got concerns that there's maybe like a ghost or something going on with her cafe. So Logan, of course, is happy to join her for some paranormal investigation in the form of stakeouts, which are silly and fun. I don't think this book is going to have a paranormal edge to it, but if it does, I'm happy with that. But I am just waiting, you know, are they ever going to get a chance where they're not disturbed by something? This book is fun. I'm really enjoying it. It felt like a really good pick. It's really weird though, because Logan is a hunky farmer and I'm from a small farming town. I know a lot of farmers. My stepdad's a farmer, and while all the farmers I know are, you know, burly men, they could probably lift an entire building, they're super strong, I don't think any of them have six-pack abs. Logan in this book has six-pack abs, and oh, they will be mentioned many times. And I don't think I've ever met a farmer with a six-pack. I've met many farmers. I'm not going to ask my stepdad to do a poll around the farm because I think he would laugh at me and tell me to just stop. But I don't know. If you've met any farmers with six-packs outside of fiction, let me know, because I don't know, that feels a little unrealistic. But other than that, it's a super fun little book and I'm having such a good time with it. And I cannot wait to read the next half. That's pretty much my plan. I'm going to read the next half, have a great time, probably go for a walk because fresh air is good for you. Reading update time. I am back on the floor in my really badly lit bedroom for a book update. I have finished the Pumpkin Spice Cafe and oh, it was so nice. And I've had the most adorable day. We went for a really long, okay, not that long, walk with the kids. We walked just under 5 kilometers, which isn't really that long, but because I'm still recovering, my old lady lungs are not doing too well, it ended up taking us over an hour. So I'm counting it as a long walk, but it was really beautiful and it was really nice to just get out and get some fresh air. It felt like what you do. It feels like what you should do in autumn. Another thing that I think you should do in autumn, if you want, is read cute autumnal books, which the Pumpkin Spice Cafe definitely was. It meets that criteria perfectly. I really enjoyed the small town vibes. It was just so cute, and just lovely. Everybody was so nice. Everybody was so supportive. It was like a hug in a mug. It was just so lovely. But unexpectedly, it got steamy. It got steamy at 80% and I was cackling. My boyfriend was in the other room and could just hear me cackling, almost hyperventilating because I couldn't breathe enough to cackle. It was very amusing. There were some choice phrases used in the romantic scenes that I was like, I don't know why you would have used those words, but I applaud you for it. Very strange. I suppose the highlight would be when he shucked himself out of his pants. Shucked. Like an oyster, like a sexy oyster. So for me, from that point on, all I could think about was Logan being like this sexy little shellfish. It was very amusing and I found that bit really quite funny, but I wasn't expecting it to be steamy at all, so that was unexpected. And I think I probably could have lived without it in this book because I got a little bit secondhand cringe at some of the romance scenes. And I would just like to say that if your grandmother comes to tell you dinner's ready, go to dinner. Don't start humping. Go to dinner. It's rude. She's made food. I really enjoyed the character growth because there was some. I wasn't expecting it. And in, you know, a cute cozy book, very much could have just been left as these people have faults and we're just going to live with it. But we didn't just live with that. We grew and we learned. And I really enjoyed Logan sort of coming to terms with the fact that he did have some issues, and with Jeannie growing in her confidence and sort of putting down those roots. This was such an adorable book, and it is the start of a series, and I'm so excited. I'm definitely going to be reading the rest of the series. I know the next book comes out in 2024 and it focuses on another possible pairing from this book, because we've met a few characters and it definitely feels like they could be easily paired up, and I hope they are, because I would like to read some more small town romance that gives me Gilmore Girls Hallmark film vibes. That's what I want. It's what I wanted from this book and it's what I got. I had a great time with this book, and I am going to be starting a new pumpkin spice themed book tomorrow. I have a short list of 2 and I don't know which one I'm going to pick. So it will be a surprise for both of us in the next update. The hat is on because I am going out in a wee bit and I need to get ready. But first, a reading update. So I said I was going to start a new book, and I am a woman of my word. I did that. I started Pumpkin Spice and Haunted Twice by Jeffrey Shields as my second pumpkin spice themed book. And I just want to say, before I talk about the book, I know I said I was doing sweater weather, and I'm wearing a cardigan, which I'm going to count as sweater weather. But I'm getting ready to go out to go and get my flu vaccine, because I had pneumonia and it knocked me out, and I need to get my flu vaccine because I can't really risk getting flu this year. It would be really, really dangerous, and I do get a flu vaccine every year. Anyway, but it's extra important this year, so I need to be able to access my arms so that the lovely vaccine person can, get to my arm. So cardigan. But onto the book. This is set in a small town, and it's a small kind of cookie cutter looking town, and everything looks adorable and sweet, but it's not quite what it seems, because there are ghosts. There are ghosts in this town. So a paranormal pumpkin spice read. This book is from the point of view of Sylvia, who is the partner to a detective called Guy, whose surname I have forgotten, and he is a detective but used to be a chef, so his sort of quirky personality means that instead of referring to things as clues, he calls them ingredients and kind of makes a recipe while trying to solve a mystery, which is actually quite adorable. This is, I think, book 4 in a series, but I had no problem reading this as a standalone, and I would read other books in this series anyway. I did not realise how short this book was. It's only 70 odd pages. I didn't realise it was a novella, so I've actually finished it. I finished it this morning with my second cup of coffee, and that was the point where I realised it was a novella, because I was 80% of the way through. This book, this mystery, takes place in a hotel called the Ghost Inn, which is haunted, as I think you might have guessed. Sylvia and Guy witness a mystery. They're in the inn and a briefcase goes missing. Literally disappears from someone's hands. And they are tasked by the inn owner, an old school friend, to find this briefcase, to find out what's happening, get it. It's got important things in it. And oddly enough, they are given a room for the night so that they can investigate, but they're told not to go in the attic, which I find really weird when you would have somebody involved in an investigation and limit where they can go, because what if it's in the attic? You need to be able to look everywhere. Also staying at this inn are 2 ghost hunters, which I find really interesting because the detective is a wimp. I saw a lot of myself in him, a little scaredy cat. And these 2 ghost hunters are very much embracing the rumours of the inn being haunted. This actually felt, I think the best way to describe this book is as a Scooby-Doo mystery. I love Scooby-Doo, And I saw a lot of the positives from Scooby-Doo in this book, where it sort of capers and it's a little bit obvious who has been up to no good, but it's a really fun story on the way there. So I didn't need red herrings or misdirects. I just needed a fun story, and I feel like I got that. And I really enjoyed the grand reveal, because the grand reveal involved pumpkin spice lattes and breakfast bagels, which sound delicious. This was a super short novella. I would happily read other books in the series. It was short and fun, but I really had a good time with it. And now I am off to go and get my vaccine, and probably a treat because I hate needles so much. They are a necessary evil, but I'm gonna maybe get myself a treat. I'm definitely gonna get myself a treat. A few days have passed since my last update. I did go out, I did go get my flu jab, and then my arm kind of went boom, really giant and red and sore, and I just felt a bit rubbish, so I didn't film. But I did get myself some treats, and I did finish a book that I also started. So I suppose we'll go through the treats first, because there's no reason behind that. I always like to treat myself after something like if I have to get an injection or any sort of medical things that are unpleasant. I like to treat myself to something nice so that the day is not commemorated with sadness. It's like, oh, here's a lovely little treat. That's my thought process. I'm an adult, and that is how I reward myself. So I wanted to go and get a very specific jumper, bottle green. Not to be conceited, but I know the bottle green works for me. It's a color, like, I have no pigment in my face. Bottle green makes me look, it makes me feel cute. So I wanted to go and pick up that jumper, but they didn't have it in the shop. In fact, they had very few jumpers in the shop that weren't cropped jumpers. So I ended up having to order it online, because I like to cover my kidneys with my jumpers because I get cold. That's it. But I did get some nice things. I'm not sure about this first purchase. It's kind of a maybe. I might take it back. I don't know. I got a dress, and it's so autumnal. It's got a gorgeous pattern, and like, I love a funnel neck, but I don't know. I don't know if I feel cute in it. So I'm gonna wait and see. I'll try it on again later when I'm feeling a bit better and see if I feel cute in it. It has pockets and it's got a gorgeous autumnal pattern, but I don't know. I don't know if I'm feeling it. We shall see. I also picked up a couple of vests. I am an old lady that likes to wear jumpers, but I like to wear vests underneath my jumpers because sometimes I just feel a bit too overwhelmed if it's a t-shirt. That doesn't make any sense, but I like having under layers. So new vests for me, because what can I say? I'm an exciting shopper. I also got some socks, because I have many socks and I knit socks, but I still often feel like I have no socks. So I got some seasonal appropriate ones. I have these little Halloween ones with cats. I got these cute little stars and moons in a trainer sock, which is, I have no real need for a trainer sock. And then these, how could I not get a pumpkin spice sock? That is also my favorite color. I love a seasonal sock. It is ridiculous, but it is true. I only tend to really have seasonal socks for Christmas. Some of my Christmas socks are from the 90s, because I only wear them in December, so they last a really long time, and my feet haven't grown since I was 11. They're an investment piece. I will keep them until they literally fall apart and I can darn them no longer. I was very excited to get some seasonal ones because I just wanted them. They're cute. I wasn't feeling well. I wanted a treat. And my gorgeous bottle green jumper should be here next week, I think. I think I said it would arrive in about 5 days. So I will have that soon, and I'm so excited. But I also finished a book. I went and got a coffee afterwards and sat and I started my book. And before my coffee was over, I was halfway through. So I started Pumpkin Spice Scare by Molly Maple. This is my second book by this author. It is book 4, I think, in the series. But I don't think it matters if you read them out of order. At least I've been reading them out of order. And I just find them so charming. It's such a lovely, cozy little series. I highly recommend. I mean, I've only read 2 of them. The 2 I've read, I highly recommend the series based on those. So this series is called Cupcake Crimes. Our protagonist, Charlotte, bakes cupcakes. That's sort of her dream, is to be a cupcake baker as her profession. And in this book, she's kind of getting to realize that, because she has been running a business from her home. She lives with her elderly aunt, who is the greatest character. And she's finally realized that she's making enough money from her sort of side business that she can give up working at the diner, which is how she's been paying her bills all this time, and she can really put every bit of energy she has into her cupcake business. So it's really exciting, because I read book 2, I think, in this series, and she was starting this business, and it's so lovely seeing how it's grown, that she's actually getting to, you know, do what she wants to do as her livelihood. And I just think that's so lovely. So this book starts with her being able to put in her 2 weeks notice at the diner. She's so nervous. Her boss is a little bit of a tyrant. And when she goes to hand in her notice, she finds one of her colleagues dead in her car, and becomes kind of involved in looking into what happened, into the murder of her colleague, who has very clearly been poisoned. So she starts looking into things with her best friend Marianne, who's the local librarian, and they start to realise that they didn't know this woman at all. And when a second murder happens, things start to get a little bit murkier. All the while, this book is taking place in the run-up to Halloween. And this is a small town, because I love me a small town book. And this entire town go all out for Halloween. They love the spooky and scary and terrifying elements of Halloween, not the cutesy vibes. I'm with Charlotte there. I like things that are a little bit cute and spooky, not like, I'm terrified, I'm gonna cry. But this town, all about the scares. So it's really fun reading how just all out they go. There are donut eating competitions, there are scare rooms. It's really, really fun, cozy, kind of autumnal Halloween vibes. Really, really enjoyable setting. I did guess who the murderer was, because I thought it was kind of obvious from the second murder, but that doesn't mean that I didn't enjoy the book. I really enjoyed the sort of grand reveal, and more importantly, I love the Live Forever Society. It is a society made up of Charlotte's elderly aunt and her 2 best friends. They are in their 90s and they live each day like it's their last. They are just determined to have the most fun and enjoyment that they can, and they're just so fun, so silly. And I mean, honestly, I wish the series was from their point of view, because I love them. They're the highlight whenever they show up. They're so fun, and they're kind of training Charlotte and Marianne to be like the younger generation of their society. And they're helping these younger women come out of their shells to sort of fight for what they want in life. And I just think it's really like quite beautiful to see this sort of multi-generational relationship, and it's so loving and supportive, and it just makes my heart happy. This was a delightful read. I have had the most fun this week, apart from, you know, having an injection and feeling a little bit groggy, and also having an arm that was like boom. Other than that, book-wise, fantastic, really cozy, really relaxing, and I am ready to go into spooky season. Let me know what your favourite cozy autumnal reads are, and if you are also gearing up to start your spooky reading when it hits the 1st of October. And if so, what are you going to be reading first? Thank you so much for watching. Bye!